Last question. Again, going to be different for both of you. Does your community relate to any sort of oversight body that's over you? And if so, how has that relationship either helped or hindered your pursuit of the mission of your community? Steve was chuckling to himself as I asked the question.
How does it help her?
How has it helped or hindered? You can concentrate on helped if you want to. I think that's what most people have experienced. But
yeah, I think it is. Our conference, Eastern District Conference, is we're still operating under, at least conference-wise, it's a more traditional. We're a very small conference.
Right.
Conference minister. The relationship at West Swamp I feel is pretty strong. We realize that there's support from conference. There's a number of us involved in at a conference level. Good relationship with our conference minister. So we know that, and I think the congregation feels that's a place we can go when we need help, and also be responsible there.
Okay.
I know it's not probably for all of our churches. It varies in our conference.
But your church finds it helpful.
Our church, I think, finds it helpful.
Right.
Sure.
But you guys have
and is willing to trust that leadership.
That's good. How about you guys?
I can say that I work at the conference, but one of the things that makes me interested in working with the conference is that I worked with a congregation that did not have a good relationship.
Okay.
I had a relationship of animosity. So I come into my work knowing that that's possible.
Gotcha.
Knowing that relationship isn't always like what we think it is. And that congregations have varieties of ways of engaging. And they may trust us with a task, but that really Anabaptist theology in sort of the 20th century focuses on non-hierarchical systems.
Right.
And the conference really represents a bit of a hierarchical system to people, so they can sort of have a negative feeling about it. Mennonite Church USA is a new national body, and we have not yet figured out how conferences will relate together, because each of us, coming from two different structures, we're two different denominations.
Right.
And there are some ways that one of us is more centralized than the other in some things, and then the other one is more centralized than the other on other things.
Right.
So it's a fascinating tension.
Yeah, when you guys merged, we all looked and went, well, we're happy, but what?
Yeah.
Because we couldn't figure out how it was going to work out.
Well, and it works sort of. Our conferences, Chris's conference and Franconia that I work for, basically overlap geographically exactly. But we're not sure what that would mean in practice.
Gotcha.
We had an event last night that was a Franconia conference sponsored event. Well, more than half of the persons that were there were from Chris's
Eastern
conference,
District.
and
Right,
our offices share. We share office space together.
Gotcha.
But the challenge, I think, is one of the things that we're working on is whether we're a unitary body with divisions, or a confederacy of communities.
Okay.
And I'd say that's the verdict is still out on that. And many conferences in Pennsylvania have acted confederately in the past. The church is the oldest here, and many of the conferences, a third of the Mennonite churches in Pennsylvania, and the population is so significant in southeastern Pennsylvania and so wealthy that we can operate in large without the rest of the denomination.
Right. Okay.
And I just read something that said that the reason that the offices were placed in the Midwest was to avoid the gravity of Pennsylvania, to avoid that potentially that everything could be dictated from the suburbs around Philadelphia.
But Pennsylvania's the center of the world. That and down in Virginia.
Exactly.
By EMU.
Yeah. We have sort of an axis in Harrison.
Why did they name their university after a bird? I don't understand that.
I was there for that.
They went from EMC, which was like really smart, and then they changed to a bird, and it's flightless, which doesn't make any sense to me at all. So that's kind of interesting. You guys have anything else you want to add to that? I got my dig on Eastern EMU. That was fun. I've been waiting for that for years. So
I'm glad it's on YouTube.
There you go. It's on YouTube. Me making fun of Eastern. Yeah, that's great. They'll never invite me again.